Hi, Landi. Welcome back to Entrepreneurcast. It's so great to have you back on the show and to have a weekly show with you.
Hello, Svietlana. It's great to be back, especially in the beginning of the week.
So, Landi, today we're talking about customer avatar, something you touched on a little bit in our very first interview. So,
Yep.
tell us, how does one come up with the customer avatar? How does the person break it down? I know that a lot of people recommend to go really in depth into the problems of the person, but
Yeah.
as an expert, you know more about it than I do. So,
Svetlana, we're in a very, very exciting time when it comes to business and when it comes to marketing because so many things have changed. And I'm going to explain to you and your listeners why I say that we used to previous years come up with an idea for our business and it used to be very exciting and we would run out there and pitch our idea to the world and then sometimes get really disappointed if no one is really biting onto the idea. So more and more marketers and branding specialists are really now realizing now that we are actually not out there to sell people our product. That's actually not the purpose of our business. Now, if you want a profitable business, that sounds crazy, right? We're not out there necessarily to sell people. We're out there to help people with their problems. We're out there to solve their problems. And just by mentioning it like that, it takes already a massive stress feeling off our shoulders. So if you at the beginning of the week and you're thinking, where do I start? Where am I going to get leads? What am I going to tell them? But you don't know who you are talking to. You are completely missing the point in business. And that is what we're trying to avoid here today by talking about the avatar. So when I talk about the avatar, we're referring really to who is your ideal client. And I think previous years when we used to talk about our ideal client, we used to talk about things like gender, and we used to talk about things like your age and your location. Those were the specifics, but that has completely changed. And that's the exciting part I'm talking about. These days we look at what is it that your ideal client really like? What is the Facebook pages they're hanging out on? Where are they on LinkedIn? What keeps them awake 3 o'clock in the middle of the night? What worries them? What is the food they like to eat? What do they consume? Do they like to go to the gym? The list go on forever. So if you're here listening today and you wonder what can you do with your business this week to increase your sales or to get more qualified leads, the first thing for you would be to take a pen and paper and go and sit down and write down who is the person you'll be talking to.
would you say that it's the best idea to come up with someone who is more sort of similar to who you are and what your problems that you specifically face? Let's say between 25 and 35, the vegan person, because I'm vegan, so I'm coming up with
Uh,
that straight away.
I gather.
so, so someone who hands out eating only vegan food and maybe wearing only vegan stuff and so on, and then with having those specific things into the person, then maybe they face specific problem in Facebook lead generation or whatever. Like, how deep do you actually go when you're trying to figure out your customer avatar?
Well, it's a very good question because let's take you as an example because you mentioned our vegan, right? What is one of the biggest challenges that a vegan has? I mean, when you go out and you want to go and eat something, tell me about the challenges you experience.
I would say most of the places I go to, they hardly have any options for me.
Yeah, nothing on the menu. So, and what does that mean? How does that make you feel when that happens?
uh, it just makes me feel like I don't have enough. Well, it really depends. Like, let's say yesterday I had a meeting and we were supposed to go to a specific place, and the lady I was meeting, she was running late, which was fantastic because by the time she got there, I went to the place and I found out if they have any vegan options. And the guy
Yep.
said to me, no, we have only vegetarian options. There is nothing. And I
Right.
was like, are you sure you have like nothing at all? I can't believe that. And he said, no, we have nothing at all. So I had to turn around and walk out, and then
Wow.
meet the lady and say, okay, well, can we go in such and such place, because I know that for sure. I've been there before, and they're really good with all the allergies and whatever it is. They kind of target all the different kind of people. So we had to go there instead. So there are like still a lot of places which wouldn't, have enough stuff for vegans, let's say,
Mm, mm, mm.
right?
So, and this is you eating out. So,
Yeah.
what is the problem that you face as a vegan when you have to go and do grocery shopping? What happens then?
Well, with grocery shopping, it's a bit easier because I personally plan in advance and I know what exactly I'm gonna eat for the whole week. I kind of plan that so that it doesn't require me any additional energy during a week, because I want to obviously have enough time and energy for my business. So I do the whole thing in literally a few hours a week, and I order online, and when I do that, it's quite easy because most supermarkets now actually have those options for vegans, and they have all the descriptions of the product, so you can actually check out if it's vegan or not.
Right. Okay, so now that I'm speaking to you as a vegan,
Yeah.
now I can make an offer to you because I know exactly who I'm speaking to. And I'm doing this as an example so that our listeners can see exactly how this works. So, knowing you're a vegan, how would you feel if I offer you a mobile app? This mobile application will show you all the restaurants in your close vicinity that's vegan. It will also show you all the shopping centers in your close vicinity that's vegan. And it will also give you an online shopping and delivery service so that you don't have to go to all those separate places and pick the stuff out. And as part of my offer, you'll become part of my vegan community. Do you see the difference between understanding who your avatar is and not knowing who your avatar is? And what you experience as a vegan person when you go to a restaurant and you open the menu and there's nothing for you, that's how clients feel. That's
Mm.
how they feel when we're offering them stuff that is absolutely not relevant to it. We stand in front of people on stage or we pitch them at an event, whatever, and then we get really upset if their faces shows us, but what are you talking about? I'm actually not interested because what you have on your menu, what you have on offer for them is actually not tailor-made for them. It's not speaking to them and it doesn't do anything for them. And that's why it's important that you understand that avatar perfectly.
That really makes sense. But how do you still like figure it out? Do you just go by asking people all these questions and figure out how many of them have that specific problem? Or do you kind of think about it out of your own experience, and
Yep.
create your avatar around yourself, trying to figure out, okay, well,
Yep.
I have these challenges, so there must be other people having them. So like, do
Yep.
you go out of your own experience, or do you test it on other people and check them out first?
I think that sort of bring us back to your previous question. Do we now go? I mean, you're a vegan. Does it mean you're necessarily going to go now and open a vegan solution for people? Not necessarily, but you may. So it makes sense. A lot of people that I personally consult with have that. They have a story. The story meant there was a massive challenge. They overcome that challenge and they got a solution for the challenge. And now they're offering that solution to their clients. And it is easier for them because they walked that path. They went through the process. Let's use the veganism again as an example. If you told me today that you have a company that caters for vegans, or you have a grocery store for vegans, or you are developing an app for vegans, you would know exactly what needs to be in that solution because you walked that path. Surely you'll go to other vegans and you'll refine the process and get their input or whatever. But many times it's not necessarily the case. Many times we develop products and services, and it's something we've always been passionate about, but we don't have that full association with people. So, for example, there's many people out there that's speakers, who's coaches, that's consultants, that's helping people with their businesses, but the target market is still very, very wide. It's not niche. So in those circumstances, I always recommend to people to literally go and, what's the word, practice go and practice some of the number one skills that you can have in marketing right now. Do you know what that is?
And no, tell us.
Listening, asking people questions and listening to their answers. So if you go out there to 1,000 entrepreneurs and your product is going to be to coach them, if you can get feedback about what is important from those 1,000 entrepreneurs, your product and service will be 10 times more tailor-made than many people out there. So if you can come to the point where you can say to yourself, listen, I want to work with entrepreneurs, you're already niching it down, because you're saying, well, I want to work with entrepreneurs. My definition of entrepreneurs is maybe business owners, people who have their own business, right? They're not working for an employer anymore. They're self-employed. But I will tell people as advice to take it a few steps further. So, right, you're working with entrepreneurs. Are you working with CEOs specifically? Or are you working with a managing director? Are you perhaps working with an executive team? Maybe you're working with entrepreneurs like me, but not specifically people who sell products. I specialize in entrepreneurs who sell their professional services. So I tend to work with consultants and with coaches and speakers. So my initial avatar would be, I like to work with consultants that speak. So that's people who has a consulting service. They want to go on stage and they want to go and sell their product or their service from stage specifically. So that is how far you can niche it down. And then people come to me and say, Landi, but what about location? You know, should I keep it specific to London or to Cape Town or to Auckland or to Singapore, or should I keep it open to the world? You can put some thought into that as well. But what we tend to do is we travel a lot, and we go to these different countries and then we test how people respond to us. So if we're in America, we see what's the reaction to us in America. Do people feel comfortable with the accent? Do they like, the input we provide? Other countries, we go and test, is there cultural differences that people embrace, or does it cause a clash? What happens? So we go literally from country to country and we test people's reaction to us. Now, that will not always be the case with you. You won't be always able to do that. So a good start for you, if you want to start seeing who's the people who's attracted to you, is maybe to go to your social media pages, go to your Facebook page. Look at the people who's liking your stuff. Who's the people who's commenting? Is it more male or female? Is it a certain age group? Is it a certain nationality? Is it people with a specific problem? And then go and find out, ask them really what is it that they want. And this will cause you to refine this target market and avatar more and more and more. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process of A/B split testing and finding out who exactly they are and what exactly is their problem, so that you can come up with a solution.
What about those people who are not sure how niche their market is? So if they think, okay, well, I know there is a problem like that for myself and I would love to do something like it. Okay, let's take example now. It's quite a wide area, I think, but several years ago it wasn't. So there are vegans, and let's say there are raw vegans, so people who eat only raw cooked stuff. So back in the days, there wasn't really enough interest because people didn't know what that is. They weren't really open to that. So like, if you don't know how open the market is, how many people are in that, but you know that you personally have that problem and you would like to do something with it. So how do you figure out, if there are enough people you can serve in that sort of area, or should you kind of just forget about it for now? Or
I think, Svietlana, the answer for me would be that there will always be enough people. It would just be a case of finding them. So I like to compare this to the ocean and fishing ponds and water, because I love water so much myself. But let's say the world is the ocean and the ocean is filled with fish, right? There will be always more than enough fish in that water. So there will be your sharks, and there will be your yellowtails, and there will be your sardines, and there will be all. And let's say every single fish is representative of your target market. The difference here is taking a net and throwing it out into the water and hoping you're going to get people from your target market in that net. It's not likely to happen. But if you know that you're looking specifically for the pink and purple jellyfish with the 8.3 tentacles, then you can find out where those jellyfish hang out, jump into the water and go swim with them. So that's really the difference. That's the analogy. So if you're not sure who that person is, go and take some time out with yourself and ask yourself this question. Who are the people that I really, truly, and passionately want to help? And start building a little bit of a checklist in your mind. Do you have a heart for mothers? And a person might go, yeah, but I don't necessarily have children of my own, so I can't associate it. Or immediately you will go, my word, I have children. I understand that a vegan mother have the challenges of coming home and cooking for her children, vegan ingredients, whatever. Or you might say, you know what? I'm not gender specific at all. For me, it's not a gender thing at all. Do you have a heart for people who sits and they're a business owner? You know what? I do have a heart for them. And you know why? Because some of the startup entrepreneurs don't have any team. And that's a lonely world. And that's why I want to help them. I want to create a community and I want to make sure they know what's going on. Or you might go even a little bit further and say, you know what? I can't really tell you why, but I've always had a heart for people who's in their 50s and 60s and have to start a career from scratch. Those are the people that I'm going to help. Those are the people that I'm going to lead. So it seems to me sometimes with business and passion and putting products and services together that people forget about their own passion and their own talents and what they really want to achieve on this planet with their skills, So if you're absolutely clueless, if you're listening here today and you go, I know I want to help business leaders, but I don't know where to start niching it down, is go into your heart, Ask yourself, close your eyes, say, who's the people that I really would say that I helped on this planet when I leave this earth? And that will sort of direct you already in the right direction. Another way is to post on social media, Social media is great, especially because you're not doing a sale, You're not selling people anything yet. You're posting on social media and you're saying, you know what, I want to start a coaching business or I want to start a vegan consulting business or whatever. Can you please help me out and tell me where's the areas where people are experiencing problems? And you're going to see those avatars pop up. You're going to see, oh my word, these are all women or they're all couples. Or they're all male, they're all bachelor males, whatever the case may be. And all that, it's actually a very exciting process to go through. And ultimately, if you know who you're talking about, you can come up with the perfect message, not to sell them, but to solve the problem they're having.
Thank you very much for this, Landi. I think we really got really well into the whole core of the problem. Before we wrap it up, could you just give us a quick overview, sort of, just lay it out? What are the main steps to go through the customer avatar experience? Yeah.
Sure, I like to do bullets because there's a lot of information, a lot of chat and laughter. We want to make it clear and focused for people. So step number 1, go and get yourself a pen and a paper and go put yourself in an environment that's not similar to the one you're finding you're in self all the time now. When you have your own consulting firm or your own business or you're a speaker that want to come up with a new strategy, we get overwhelmed and clouded. Get out of your environment. Make sure that you're in a garden. Make sure you have something beautiful in front of you, because if you stay in the right space or in front of your computer, your vision is like this. But if you go outside in nature, your vision open up. Take a pen and paper, go and sit in the garden. Step number 1. That's your first step. Your second step is then to go first to your heart, because you can come up with the best avatar in the world. If it's not a person that you really and truly want to serve, you're not going to be able to get up in the morning and be motivated to serve them. So step 2, go into your heart, close your eyes, ask yourself, who is the person that I really want to serve on this planet? Then number 3, if you have some sort of ideas and you come up with business owner, or you come up with people who's overweight, or you come up with people who have bookkeeping problems, or you come up with whatever, you have some sort of idea of who those people is, then you go onto LinkedIn and you go onto Facebook and you go onto Google and you look for those people. So let's say the only thing you were able to come up with was business owners. That's all you could do. You couldn't come up with anything but business owners. You go as a step 3 and you look just for business owners, right? Look for business owners and make contact with them and invite them to a lovely, small, intimate event. We call them focus groups. So you go and you get them to your focus group. You sit around the table, 10, 20 of them. You give them free coffee, free muffins, free wine, whatever they would like. and you start asking them questions. And you ask them questions about their problems. And by doing that, already your process is going to get massively refined. You're going to go, oh, I understand those problems, but I don't necessarily feel I want to help that. Those problems I understand even more, and I totally want to help those people. Oh, let's see. Those people are not entrepreneurs. They're actually people who's at the next level of entrepreneurship. Or you know what? These are not just business owners. These are award-winning business owners. Or these are not just business owners, they are consultants. So that's the way you will refine it and narrow it down. Get into nature, step number 1. Get into your heart, step number 2. Step number 3, go and look for them generically. Step 4, get them around the table and ask them questions. And you'll never look back.
Thank you, Landi, for that. That's amazing. I think this is a really great call. So thanks for coming back on Entrepreneurcast and
You're
for
most welcome,
sharing a lot with us. And I really look forward to seeing you the next week.
Absolutely. Have a great week. Great week, everyone. Bye.